Good evening to you, Julie, and to those of you watching and listening at KARE 11 News. We begin our day with a morning editorial meeting, and in our meeting this morning we challenged ourselves to have some difficult conversations.
And then I remember this mural just a few blocks from the 4th Precinct, the handshake with the words peace and harmony, and we thought this would be a good place for this conversation to begin. The 4th Precinct has been a temporary home for many races.
Oh, I became racist, if you will, against half of me, a third of me actually, because I'm triracial. I'm black, white, and I'm Native American.
Divided by separate truths.
Having black friends, like my parents didn't understand.
Let's pause for a moment. As a journalist, I cover every story with the same approach. But part of the pain is when I see how far apart people are because of their implicit bias. I know I stand on the shoulders of many as a journalist, but another piece of that pain is knowing I can't solve the problem of this hurting community behind me. Indeed, I have my own implicit bias, but I'm open to other perspectives.
But the reality is you cannot ignore your own lens, the experiences that shaped you. And this is where I grew up, in suburban Plymouth, a great community, but not an extremely diverse one when I was growing up. And Adrian, I was sharing that with you earlier, that I realized I had not stepped foot in North Minneapolis until I was a journalist covering those racial inequities. I was shielded from all that, and it was a really hard realization.
You know, that's not only your truth, but the truth for some others who watch and listen to our broadcast. It's our privilege as journalists to be able to enter these communities and share stories across the board. But the question now is, how do we help others understand?
The solutions to all of the problems and all of the ills that affect American society. You know where they are?
In a book?
They're on the shelves. Absolutely right. They're on the stacks.
This is Keith Mays,
Born and raised in Harlem,
Associate Professor of African American and African Studies at the U of M.
he's diagnosed our society with historical amnesia.
So things have changed, but things have not changed. Whites don't have to really interact with African Americans or people of color at all, because if they can work downtown, you may see some on the streets, you may see a whole lot of folk of color on Nicollet Mall, but then you go back home. Where is home? Home could be Minneapolis, but also home is the suburbs. So you are not forced to really deal with the issues. You can be indifferent. The danger of indifference is ignorance.
So are you saying if we don't change the hearts of people, there's really nothing we can do?
You have to not only change hearts, but you have to change minds.
That's why Mays focuses on empathy as light in the darkness.
But stresses racial fault lines don't run just through North Minneapolis.
They run deep within all of us.
We're all the same person, like God made us equally.
And we all bleed the same color blood.
And with our non-traditional story, we only scratched the surface today. And Lindsay was saying earlier, and we talked about this, it's sort of a reporter's notebook, some of the conversations we've had with people that don't make air, but those folks were very brave going on camera, sharing their truths with us.
And you can't really boil these issues down to 90 seconds or 2 minutes, but we thought this was a place for the conversation to begin. We took some risks, not only with the public today, but with one another, sitting around our newsroom and talking about how can we bring perspective. So maybe it's something to discuss at Thanksgiving or at your workplace, but we just hope that the conversation doesn't end here. So thank you, Adrian.
Well, thank you.